So I'm here at the Canterbury 10 miler. You can see it's all kind of starting to unfold behind me. Now obviously I recently touched on the fact that I've got a bit of an injury in the previous video. So should I really be racing today? Probably not. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm definitely not known for my common sense or intelligence. So this race is pretty close to my heart. It's part of my kind of childhood club's main races in Victory East Kent. It's in the heart of Canterbury, which is obviously my local city, and it's great to race around kind of my local country roads, and yeah, race a lot of people that I know, a lot of familiar faces. So the last 2 times I've raced this event, I have come first and second. Now that streak is likely to end today based off of my current injury record, but you know, we're here to have fun, and essentially a win for today would be to not make my injury any worse. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun, gonna give it a good shot. I've got all the racing kit on today, the Rocky X2s, the Tunbridge vest, I've got everything. So yeah, looking forward to it. Not gonna stress too much about the result. Coming away with a win would be nice, but I don't want to overestimate my ability, and yeah, I think it's pretty unlikely today. So I'll be back today to defend my title. How good I'll be at defending, I'm not really sure. Probably very similar to that of a Manchester United team. But yeah, cheeky little dig there. Big up the Leeds. But yeah, anyway, sit back, relax, and yeah, let's get this Canterbury 10 on the road. So, time to warm up. It's not horrific conditions, a little bit windy. It's warmed up a bit. Left quad so-so, but once the adrenaline kicks in, I'm sure I'll be fine. So yeah, let's get warm and get ready to rock and roll. Main aims for today's race are to have fun, obviously, always, and yeah, just give it a good go. Obviously, top 3 would be lovely. There's some cash prizes on the line at the Canterbury 10, so yeah, it'd be nice to come away with a bit of cash, but treat my family to dinner maybe. But yeah, so not get worse, not to get more injured primarily. So yeah, it's quite warm actually. I might have to just go vest. No arm sleeves, no gloves. Yeah, it's like 9 degrees maybe. Drop your favourite hype song or race song in the comments below. I'm currently listening to the Oppenheimer soundtrack. I just don't know what it is about classical music. It just gets me really pumped. Makes me feel like the main character. So yeah, let me know what you're listening to down below. I'll give them a try.
Go on boys, good running boys. Go on guys, go on Medway. Come on Carl.
So cooling down. That was hard work today. I really had to put a shift in there, harder than I wanted to work, but did manage to get first place, so I'm really chuffed with that, obviously. So I'm just shuffling around and cool down. I had a quick massage, so yeah, we'll have a little bit more of a discussion about the race a bit later. But I'm gonna go find mum and the rest of the family and see how they all got on. Oh, let's go. The legs, I'm not used to this sort of effort. Oh, battered and bruised. Is it in slow motion? Da, 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 da.
come up and collect his trophy. Right, thank you, Carl. Well done, Oliver.
So that's a wrap with the Canterbury 10 miler, about 53.35 in the end for me, so pretty happy with that clocking. And we take those definitely. That's all I could have asked for today. First place, cheeky little cash prize. So yeah, just treating myself to a little slice of carrot cake. Gonna head back home, and yeah, I've got an afternoon of massages, so do a little debrief when I get home. But yeah, starving, legs hurt as well. So back from the race. Before I quickly shower and then have some massages this afternoon, because I've got to work, got business to run, and all that. I've got the envelope which has the first place written on it, so I believe there's some money in here, but I'm not sure how much. I can't remember how much I got last year for winning. But obviously it's always nice to, you know, get a little bit back from all the training that you put in, etc. And there is a lot of money here, and that is 150 quid. That is what we like to see. Yeah, there's not many races these days actually do like cash prizes for winning, so it's always a nice little sweetener. And yeah, so we have got 150 quid here. Yeah, proper chuffed with that. Obviously 150 quid for 50 minutes of work, or 53. It's not a bad day out. Obviously it's more about the time and effort that goes into the training for that sort of thing, for sure. But yeah, not many races these days do cash as prizes, so it's really nice to kind of have one of those right on my doorstep. And obviously that money will be reinvested into the channel and put back in towards maybe some shoes or something like that. Just my running in general, really. But yeah, anyway, I need to get a shower and come back for a debrief. By the way, only 4 hours and 42 minutes of sleep last night. Oh, it was a bit of a rough night, let's just say that. So we're back from the Canterbury 10. I've just finished some massages as part of my my own business, Colby Sports Therapy. For all your local sports therapy needs, just get in contact if you've got any injuries I can help with. I want to make sure you get back to the start line as soon as possible, or back to the running or sport that you're doing. It doesn't have to be running. Anyway, little self plug over. Yeah, the Canterbury 10, got the loop on the back of the medal there, always nice. Yeah, I'm losing count how many Canterbury 10 medals I've got. I've done it for so many years now. And obviously the trophy as well, always cool. This will go on the shelf with my other one from last year. So it's now a second place and 2 firsts, which is, you know, it's cool. It's cool to be, I guess, the champion of your local popular race, I guess. So, yeah. So I've got the Coros kind of hub here, so we're gonna go through just kind of like the elevation, how I felt like I was running, my heart rate, so on and so forth. I did wear the Coros heart rate monitor on my arm, so unfortunately for me, I've got some very accurate high heart rate readings. So as you can see, my overall time was 53 minutes and 35 seconds. So it's kind of funny because over the last 3 years that I've done it, I've got a minute slower each year. Did 51 a couple of years ago when I came second, 52 last year when I came first, and then 53 this year when I came first. So actually the 2 slower times are the ones I ended up winning. But it was a slightly new course this year. Out towards this section of the course through Bridge, we would normally turn left here at the Red Lion Inn and go along that Patrick's Bourne Road. But instead we carried on straight, and that meant that we had this pretty nuts hill that I've never ran up, and it kind of caught me off guard a little bit how hilly it was. The one thing I would say that I really was happy with was the fact that in my runs in Maidstone, I quite often do hills that are very similar to that hill. So yeah, I didn't feel kind of out of my depth on that hill, and yeah, felt like I kind of dealt with it pretty well, and got to the top of the hill and felt pretty recovered, which yeah, I guess sometimes those hills can zap a lot out of you, and actually I felt better after the hill, which is weird. So as you can see, the mile splits are pretty all over the place. I've got it in miles and Ks there, so you can kind of see both. So yeah, talking through the race in terms of like how I planned it, my plan was, I said to my family that if I could win it, if I had the fitness to win it, I wanted to win it in the slowest time possible. Maybe that's a bit of an arrogant thing to say, I don't know, but I just didn't want to risk injuring myself more just to go a bit quicker, if that makes sense, if it was still the same position outcome. But that didn't work out on the day. Yeah, in the end I had to work really bloody hard for the win. Barry Stevenson was catching me in the final few kilometres, and it had me looking over my shoulder a fair bit. So well done to you, Barry, for securing second place. But yeah, in the first mile, I felt really comfortable. I was like, okay, yeah, like I feel good. Feel like the fitness is there. Obviously, there's no race sharpness. I haven't raced in ages, but I still felt semi-comfortable. But that changed pretty quickly. Got to about 2.5 miles, went down a downhill section, and my quads were just taking an absolute battering on this downhill, zapping my energy. Got to the big hill at mile 3. I'd just seen DC, so I was full of, you know, passion and love. Got to love to see DC out on the race. I just basically tried to tuck in for the first few miles and let other people do the work. It was really windy, so I was trying my best to stay shielded, but that didn't really work. It was so windy that, yeah, it didn't really matter where you were. So yeah, I tried to let the other guys do the work, and the hill actually did drop a couple of the guys off the back. Some people did struggle with that, so we were kind of down to 2 or 3 of us. And then this one particular guy, the guy who finished in 3rd place, he decided to make a push for it, and I just tried my best to hold on for as long as possible. My legs were feeling pretty tired at this point, but I just tried to stick on his heels through parts of the course I hadn't done before, because this is part of the new adapted loop. And then I got to about mile 5, mile 6, and it's like suddenly my legs kind of started to feel a bit better. The life came back into them, and also we got back to the course that I've done previously, so back to familiarity. So yeah, at about mile 6 I started to feel really good, and I could also start to sense in the guy that I was running with that he was starting to work a little bit harder than maybe I was. So when we got to about 6.5 miles, I decided to, you know, really try and push on and start to empty the tank a little bit. I found that I was responding quite well to the uphill sections that he maybe wasn't, and then specifically on the downhill sections I felt that's where I was really making the biggest gain in terms of distance. So maybe that's something that I've benefited from on some of my easy running routes, is just being able to cope with the downhills a little bit more, because people underestimate how much those can take out the legs. But yeah, then from that point on, it was just trying to keep the effort controlled, keep trying to get towards the finish line without blowing up. I did take a couple looks over my shoulder towards kind of mile 8, mile 9, and I could see this speck getting a bit bigger just behind me. This was Barry, the man who finished second, and I got to 1 mile to go, and someone shouted to me that I had about a 100-meter lead. And normally that would kind of settle you, but to be honest, that didn't settle me at all, because I'm pretty sure he'd come but from quite a lot further back, so all I could think of was all this momentum that he had. And then just as I was kind of coming into the home straight, still looking over my shoulder, he's getting closer every single time I looked over. It ended up that he was only about 60 metres behind in the end when we got to the finish, so I think maybe another mile and he might have had me. He was finishing like an absolute train. So yeah, I was pretty lucky in that respect, because I don't think I could have outkicked him on the day. But yeah, I was really chuffed with how I dealt with feeling not quite at my best in kind of like the final few miles, and also that kind of that mental cognitive dissonance and kind of lack of self-confidence, I guess, in the first few miles, where I maybe didn't actually feel as good as I thought I would. And yeah, I held it together really well, and I'm really happy with kind of how my mental state was. Yeah, I've kind of absolutely made a mess of telling that story, but essentially I held on for dear life, and then ended up feeling quite strong towards the end, and then held on just in the final mile as well, just to make sure he didn't catch me in the sprint finish. But yeah, always cool to get a trophy, always cool to win some cash as part of a local race, and that's one thing that I really want to do this year, is do more local races. In the past couple of years I've kind of fallen in the trap of just peaking for races and then end up getting like a little injury that then stops me doing the race, or stops me proving how fit I was in that instance. So this year I just want to race more, do more local races, because I absolutely love racing, and that's what today's kind of reminded me, is I don't want to race once every 2-3 months. I want to race every month, every few weeks if it's appropriate. So yeah, that's one thing I definitely want to do in 2024, is race a little bit more. But yeah, a massive thank you to my family for coming today and racing and crushing it out there in the tough conditions on the new course. A massive thank you to Invicta, my old club, for still being supportive and friendly. There's obviously always a little bit of politics with club changes and stuff, but yeah, really friendly. And obviously always putting up the cash for the prize money is always really nice, and a lot of races don't do that anymore. So yeah. But anyway, Please like, subscribe, share your own buddies. A massive thank you to everyone that sent me footage for this video. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.